In this screencast, I'm going to show you how to update the data for Unit 3 of the Physics, Lesson 1, the anchor on car collisions. What you're going to do is you're going to go to the National Highway Traffic Safety Association website and look at their annual reports. The link to this page is in the teacher reference that will also have other important information for you to reference while doing this task. You're going to find the most recent traffic safety facts report from NHTSA. I'm going to show you by updating it with the 2021 data that came out in 2023. Notice there is a 2-year lag for it. But if you are multiple years from now and need to update multiple years at a time, you'll only need to open one of these because they have all the years in the report. So you're going to click on this to download it. I've already done that. You should have it open and it will look something like this. The picture changes from year to year, but it's the same basic layout of every document year to year. You're also going to want to open the CODAP data set that is linked in the teacher reference, and it will have the data table with all the data so far. It will go through 2021, which I'm going to add today, and then it will have all the graphs that are in the handouts and slides from Lesson 1. So you'll be able to update all of those. So what you're going to do is you're going to double click in under year, and you're going to put in the years that you're adding. So I put in 2021 because I'm adding that year. Then you'll have all of these different columns to add. The yellow columns are calculated columns, so you will not fill something in here because it is calculated. You can't enter a number for it. It will auto-populate when you populate the other columns. In the teacher reference, there's a table that tells you where in this document you will find each of these pieces of data. And you can use that table to tell you where you're going to search for these pieces of information. They are in order of the table here, which is the order of the graphs that are used in the unit. So you will be jumping around within the report, but they're ordered by their use in the lesson. So first up, we have total crashes police reported. Using the teacher reference, I see that that's in table 1, crashes by crash severity. So I can come up here and do Control F and search for table space 1 period. You could also type in more, but table 1 period will get you just this table as opposed to table 10, 11, etc. And you get the table of contents. From here, you can either click on it to go directly to the table, or you can go on your find results to the next result. I'll click in here. And that brings us to table 1, crashes by crash severity. Use the reference to confirm that you're in the right table. They may change slightly from year to year, but it seems like the table numbers and table titles formats all stay the same from year to year, report to report. So now here we have 2021 down here, and we're looking for total crashes police reported. So we look at this and we say crash severity. Okay, total crashes. So we want the number. We come down here. We can copy this. Copy. Double click on the box you want to add it to and paste. Now, if I just hit enter here, I'm going to get invalid types in the calculated columns. That's because I have commas here. So I'm going to double click on here and I'm going to delete the commas. You can also just hand type in the number if you so choose. Next is millions of vehicle miles traveled. This is abbreviated VMT as shown in the teacher reference. And the teacher reference also tells me that it's in table 2. I know table 2 comes right after table 1, so I'm just going to scroll down and I see that I have table 2. And I'm looking for vehicle miles traveled, VMT, and this is millions. And in our table, it is millions of vehicle miles traveled, so we just need to copy over the number. So here we take 2021 and we copy our number, paste it in, and delete the commas. You'll see now that we just added this dot, and earlier we added this dot to our graphs. So the graphs will auto update as you add in the data as you go. Next, we have traffic fatalities. That is also in Table 2. So if I look up here, I have Table 2, and we're in killed, so we have fatalities. If you're in another page of Table 2, you'll still get the same vehicle miles traveled, but this is the second part of Table 2, so it has injured, and that has numbers of injured as opposed to fatalities. So you're going to want to go back up to the killed one and look at fatalities. All the way down, we have this number here, and we're going to copy and paste that into there and get rid of the comma. You're going to continue as you go. So the next one was traffic crashes with fatalities. This is, according to the teacher reference, back up in Table 1. So I'm going to scroll back up and I see, okay, this is crashes as opposed to people. It's counting crashes. And we look at fatal crashes. So we're going to look at this number here for 2021, copy it, and paste it in, and delete the comma. And you'll see now that populates this one, which is percent of crashes with fatalities, because it uses the total crashes and the crashes with fatality to calculate that. And that's actually one of the graphs. There's no graph for traffic crashes with fatalities because we use the percentage graph for looking at it with students. Next, we have estimated injury-related crashes. So we're going to, again, come to Table 1. And this time we're looking for injury-related crashes. There's also property damage only. We don't have data on that in the anchor, but it might be interesting to your students. Copy this number over and double-click to get rid of the commas. Next, we have non-occupant fatalities because, again, this yellow column will fill in automatically because it's calculated. According to the reference, Table 4 is where I'm going to find non-occupants. So I'm going to search there, and we see we have people type, and this is killed and injured. So we have people type, and we have non-occupants, and we are in the killed as opposed to injured. Make sure you're looking at the right one because the next one is the one for injured. So be careful to look at precisely the correct one. And we want non-occupants total. So we look here and we see that this is the number for 2021, and we copy that over. But here's where I also want to draw your attention to one other thing about these reports. And that is that sometimes the data for the year prior gets updated in between the reports. So the 2020 report reported that there were 7,709 non-occupant fatalities, but the 2021 report has updated that number to 7,770. So what you're going to do is I highly suggest for each of these values, you double check the number of the year prior. You don't have to go through and check all of the years. You're just going to want to check the immediate year prior. So make sure to do that for all of these data sets. So all of the ones that you've gone through. I checked previously, and these 2020 ones are correct within the data, but you'll want to check. So if you're updating with the 2022 data, you're going to want to check these 2021 numbers to make sure that they haven't been updated since this report came out. Next, the registered small cars, according to the reference, are on Table 7. So I'm going to search for table 7. And we see here, and we are looking for registered small cars. Registered small cars are registered passenger cars. So we come down here and we see this number. We copy it in. And let's double check that other number. So this one ends in 958. 958. So that one still matches. We don't have to worry about it. Now, registered big cars. Registered big cars are in table 8. Table 8 is titled light truck occupants killed and injured. Light trucks are what we are calling big cars. And so we look at registered light trucks here, and we copy this over. Get rid of the commas. And then double check the year before. 764. 764. So we're good with that one. Registered large trucks. Registered large trucks is table 9. So I'm going to search table 9. And large trucks are called large trucks. So we have registered large trucks, and we copy this in. And as we do that, we'll check the other one. 371, 371. Okay, we're good on that one. Now we just enter the new one. Registered motorcycles, that's table 10. Scroll down to table 10. Registered motorcycles, 2021. Copy in. And double check 435, 435. Most of the ones that change are often related to fatalities, since sometimes there's data that changes about that. And the last one is alcohol impaired. So we're going to look at table 13, according to teacher reference. That takes us to this table. We see it is what we're looking for, and we're looking for alcohol impaired driving fatalities, BAC plus 0.08 plus. So that's this column here, and we want the number. So we scroll down and we say right here, and that's our 13. So we take that, put it in there, get rid of the comma. And just double check this, it's 11654, and we have a different number here. So we have 11718, so we're going to copy that in and update that one. So we see those are now updated and they match. So now you have all of your data updated in the table for 2021. You'll be doing future years. And you can scroll down, and all of your graphs should now have dots for your new years that you have added. If you need to adjust the scales, you click and drag here. Make sure that 1995 is always nice and visible, but that is how you update these graphs.